All right, here we go. The Patriots, America's team. You got to love them. They hate us because they ain't us. Patriots, 11.5 win total. 11-5 ATS last year, 9-7 to the under, 13-3 straight up. Here's their wins going back the last few years: 13, 14, 12, 12, 12, 12, 13, 14, 10, 11, 16, and 12. You want to play them under? Good luck.
Yeah, I played them under last year. That was a lot of fun. I had under 12.5. You remember the Steelers ending?
Oh, tough one.
Yeah, they won 13 games.
They started 2-2. They were 2-2.
I know. I got to say, I felt pretty good about my chances, but that's the danger of stepping in front of the NFL dynasty of the 21st century. Look, you talked about the point spread stats last year, 11-5 against the spread, the most public team in the country, coming off another huge point spread season in 2016, with the same story in 2017. The betting markets have consistently undervalued this team, and that's everything to do with the wise guys. The wise guys don't like New England's statistical profile. When you look at the numbers offensively, they were great. 6 yards per play, number 3 in the NFL on offense. 7.6 yards per pass attempt, with the ageless Tom Brady behind center. Defensively, the numbers were much more mediocre. 5.7 yards per play on defense. That was tied with the Colts, the Giants, and the Texans, number 31 in the NFL. Only the Bucs were worst in yards per play against the pass, and they were number 22, 6.9 yards per pass allowed. The one thing the Patriots did last year, statistically, they do every single year statistically, they won the turnover battle. Only 12 giveaways last season, number 2 in the NFL again. However, very rare for New England not to be in the top 10 of turnover margin. They only had 18 takeaways. That was number 25 in the NFL. The defense didn't force turnovers. They're still at a +6 differential. But, it feels like this year's the Patriots, more than any other team, +10 year in, year out. The turnover margin, it wasn't that way last year, and they still made it to the Super Bowl. But this team, Pauly, more questions than you might normally see going into a season for the New England Patriots after what we've seen over the last 15 years.
Excellent point by you. An ATS machine 2 years ago, if you count the playoffs, when they won the Super Bowl, they went 16-3 ATS, and then what they did last year. But I don't really. They got the GOAT at quarterback and the GOAT at coach, but they're not getting along. And Gronk with this isn't having fun. The talk that he was going to retire, but he comes back, and then Amendola leaves, and Gronk goes on Instagram and says, be you, have fun, whatever. The decision to bench Butler in the Super Bowl was a joke. At some point, you have to admit you're wrong, and you got to put him on the field. Butler's gone. Lewis is gone. Amendola leaves. Solder leaves. They bring in Patterson. Whoop-de-damn-do. If I'm Brady, I'm living. Now, they get Edelman back from injury, but it's like, Christ, I only have a couple years left. Can you give me some talent? Why are my weapons leaving all the time?
Well, they got pretty good weapons. You have Edelman. You have Brandon Cooks. You have Chris Hogan, Malcolm Mitchell, Philip Dorsett, Kenny Britt. They're all in the mix. And, oh, by the way, they picked up Cordell Patterson.
They traded Cooks. They traded Cooks.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. But it's a fairly good point. Thank you. I hate botching those. But the bottom line is, it's not a receiving core that we're looking at going into the season going, this is a problem. Now, there are areas that might be a problem for New England, namely on the defensive side of the football. We know they lost defense coordinator Matt Patricia to the Lions as head coach. But we also know, why did they lose the Super Bowl? They lose the Super Bowl because they were blown off the line of scrimmage on defense. And, they bring in Sheldon, 335-pounder, him and Malcolm Brown. They'll certainly be a nice duo at the defensive tackle position. But the bottom line for this defense, Pauly, their issues, talent-wise, they're not as good as the elite defense in the league. Of course, they did get some talent upgrade in the draft. And, of course, New England drafts, they tend to draft very well. Isaiah Wynn, the first guy to go off the board for the Patriots, someone who they desperately needed on the offensive line, because when you have a 40-year-old quarterback, or is he 41 now? When you have Tom Brady at QB, you better make sure that he stays healthy. Isaiah Wynn, I think, the appropriate pick. But Duke Dawson at cornerback, someone who I think stands out for the Patriots. I worry about the cornerbacks in New England this year in a way that I probably haven't in recent seasons. We'll see how much action Duke Dawson gets right off the bat from a Patriots team that has some issues on the defensive side of the football, personnel-wise.
It's horrible last year. Horrible. Watson carved them up. Carolina and Cam Newton carved them up. Kansas City to start. They made the adjustments down the stretch and then just terrible in the Super Bowl. I don't really care that Patricia's gone. That doesn't do anything for me. Good luck in Detroit with that hire as well. How bad they were in the Super Bowl. Brady sets the record for passing yards and they still can't win. Schedule. They play the AFC South and the NFC North. 2 extra games. Chiefs at home at the Steelers again. AFC East is weak. It's a New England Invitational. Probably going to get home field again and either the 1 or the 2 seed. What say you?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, the AFC East is still weak, so they do get those 6 games against the Jets, Dolphins, and Bills, all lined at 7 or less. They went 5-1 against division last year. They went 5-1 against division in 2016. One can anticipate that type of record again this season. But AFC South not easy, NFC North not easy. The 2 extra games, KC and Pittsburgh, not easy. And it's an interesting schedule for New England. They play home-heavy schedule early. They have their last 2 games against the Bills and the Jets at home. But through the middle of the campaign, they play at home on week 6. They play at home week 16. Between them, only 2 home games. They'll have a big-time road-heavy schedule. 3 separate back-to-backs on the highway for the Patriots, although you know how it is for New England. They always get this schedule-wise. Every one of those but one is in the Eastern time zone. And the one that isn't in the East, it's Central. No trips to the West Coast during that span. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.